Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. It was a interesting little mini green screen there until your video showed up. I don't know if you caught that. Like there was literally a
No.
flash of full screen like green, and then your video
Oh,
showed up. It was just like a second of it. Yeah, it didn't happen that time, but the first time it did.
I'm on a Madwell converter, so it might have been just kind of powering up or something.
Yep.
Using my ATEM is on elsewhere, and so just going direct at the moment.
There you go. And I like the color behind you.
Yeah, I'm changing this, but I'm gonna put up a curtain there and change it around a bit.
Very nice. And
So,
yeah, eventually my monitors will come back. Yeah, power supply
oh,
died for the video switcher.
oh, wow.
Yeah, and I just haven't. I could hook up the bottom for it, but I'm like, I haven't had any use for them right now.
Fair enough.
Let it go while I wait for the new power supply to ship.
Yeah,
At least it's only a power supply,
look at
but
this
much
internet
nicer than
straight in, hand up. Hello. You've come at the right time because you're the only one here.
Tonya.
So
Welcome on in. Get you unmuted whenever you're ready.
go for it. Oh,
Should
who's
be able to unmute yourself.
maybe whose settings were there? It might have been me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you go.
That was
Yeah,
you.
you can do it now. It's the last show I ran.
All right. Um,
Hello.
yay, I'm it so far. And Carl's here, or John. Okay, quick question. And Justin, you and I talked about it a little bit, but I'm getting ready to make my first hub. And this is my perfect world. Grant, I'll tell you my perfect world, and you can tell me
Mhm.
what's possible and, where I'm asking for the moon. All right, this is like perfect. But wherever my biggest goal right now is to create a really solid place for my clients to go to because we have a pretty intensive first 90 days and they need to go different places at different times. So that's my priority. But this is the
Mm,
through line. So they first go to my 3-day event, my SRL. I would love it if I could just add some things in there that get turned on if they become a client, and then they just continue to keep that portal. And we do our 3-month launch. Then from the launch, they can choose to choose our service for managed momentum, so that we can turn more things on or off, depending on what tier they choose, and just keep the
mm,
same spot the whole time. Is that
hmm.
possible?
Absolutely. Yep.
Fab.
Yeah, it is. Um, so in in the most basic form, if you just think of the Obvio dashboard as just being able to show buttons to people that you are able to filter however you want to do it. And so, and you can get really complex with that as well. But if you just have the dashboard, it's the same link for so you're saying that you do the 3-day event and then you continue to use that same link for people going forward,
Yeah. Because
then
it'll already be
you,
assigned to them, right?
yeah, yeah. Um, and now it's just it really is just the process, the design that you make around your tags and groupings and things as to what should show or what shouldn't show for people, right? And so I'll give you an example here, just so you can see it. But yeah, it's a great use of it. We're seeing more and more people start to do that because, like the Leap, how you get into the Leap calls, that
Mhm.
Leap dashboard kind of links off to a bunch of other things, and all of
Yeah.
the calls happen there. It's interesting. I'm in a coaching program myself, and it's interesting to watch them constantly sending out Zoom invitations, registrations for everyone. Like, it's just like, why would that, like, it seems such a crazy way of doing it.
Yep.
But hey, hey. Oh,
Hey,
that's
hey,
me.
was
I was like, who just said that? Oh, that was me. That was the recording, the live stream recording is what I just heard. Um, all right, I'm just going to share this and show you just an example of what you're talking about. Um, go, we'll just look at the event that we're in right now that you just came through. Um, um, for example, this button, we can do rules. And the thing here is to be able to say, now, so what CRM do you use?
It's the Gigs engine, which is built, it's ours, but it's built off of high level.
Okay. Great. And so it's so the high level integration with Obvio is connecting, and so you have the tags coming through and things. Is that right?
I haven't connected it to Avio, but that's super exciting to know that we can do that. That's super
You can.
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You totally can. I think thing just to remember with this is that we had just some people have this problem just this week, is that when you do that, you really need to make high level your single source of truth, meaning what we had is that they had that working for all their attendees and it's flowing through and creating attendees in Obvio, but they also had, oh, let's just create this test account in Obvio just so we can do this, and then they have it would be removing that, and what was happening is that there was the same email address for a team member was in high level, and it's saying it hasn't got a tag to work with Obvio, and so it goes and removes it, right? Because the high level integration is working in a way where it will add people to Obvio, it will also remove them, which is really important for what you're talking about. If they have nothing to do with you going forward, nothing to do with that event, they can be removed, and so now they can't access anything. But you've got finite control of all of that as well, in that, as you can see here, I'm saying tags include, and the tag can include alpha, right? Like that's my tag. And so you can save that, and you can go, I can go another one. It also includes Bravo. And now I can say, if you think about this finite control, they need to include alpha and they need to include Bravo to be able to see this link. Or you can say, or if they
Mm,
are in alpha group or they're in Bravo group, they will see this button, right?
okay.
So you can see how you see how that there's a lot of different ways to go. The other way of doing this is to say it does not include, right? So now we're saying, let me delete this one. So now we're saying everyone can see this unless they are in the alpha group.
Okay.
And so um, I tend to find it works best when you're in the positive, like I want to include these people because they have this. But we have got it there where you can say, I want to exclude people if they have this.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So now it's really just you've got all the control there about how you design it all. It's now just making sure that you've got a really clear process, that your tagging in high level is really detailed, because often the more detail you have there, the better, the happier you'll be in the end.
Or
Right? That you're capturing things along the way and you're categorizing people along the way, so that you can then use that to allow or disallow, certain things. And so then at that point, it's just going to show the button or not show the button. Now that goes for buttons, but of course, um, on blog posts you can do the same thing. So now you can have a full. You are familiar with the dashboard, right? Like you've done a little
Yeah.
bit of, yeah.
Well, I haven't worked with it at all, except that I've
Okay.
used it for years, really from the
Right.
beginning, from Leap. So
Yes.
however Leap utilized it, whether for their events or for their clients, I've been their client from the get-go. So I've used it.
Yeah.
I have never designed anything in it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you're already more than halfway there just by knowing the types of output or the types of experience that you get as an attendee. But if we break down, we've just talked about buttons and how you could customize who can and can't see those. You then can also do anything on the dashboard here further down. We call it a blog post. Really, it's just sections of content. And so, see this weekly Q&A. This is just an embedded code. Same goes here though, that you can have rules for who can see and who can't see. So in this example, you could have your team alpha can see this particular post and your team Bravo can see this post and only that. So now you can customize that content section completely to those people. You are team alpha, you see this is what have access to, you'll be able to continue through and whatever it is. And then Team Bravo can only see this, and then Team Charlie, they've only got free access to something, right? Like as in you can think about how you design all of that. Same goes with resources. Each resource line can have a rule. So you can say, I only want this PDF to be available or this link to be available to these people. But you can also do a whole section, which is really handy, right? So again, you can say, I'm going to add an item to this sidebar. It's going to be a resource section. And now this new resource section is is only for my alpha people. And so I'm going to call it the alpha resources. And I'm going to set the rules for this whole section is alpha. And so now this alpha resources, anything that I put in here, if you've seen resources, you can put standard files, so PDFs and things, or you can link off to somewhere else. Anything that I put in here will only be seen to people that have the alpha tag. And now
Love
you could
that.
create a whole nother section called the Bravo resources or whatever, right? So, and obviously you now think about the different packages that people might have. So if we were to go a level above Alpha and Bravo, if we think of that, we've also got, well, there's a group of people that have, Group 1 has access to Alpha and Bravo resources. Group 2 only has access to Charlie resources, right? And so if you think about it, you start breaking down your whole the whole through line of exactly what people get in the different ways that they enter, then you can group all those however you wish to do it. And
Oh,
just as a
good.
little tip here as well is that when you hit preview here is showing what general people will see when they come to the dashboard. But if you go here, you can add a tag, and now the preview is previewing what people will see if they have the alpha tag,
Mm, nice.
which is really handy for when you're messing around. And then, so that's really good in your previewing and testing some things, but then also, it's also helpful, I think, to create some dummy attendees that are kind of, or you can even test with real attendees, but having some dummy attendees that have the specific tag combination, and then being able to actually go and look at their dashboard, follow their link, and look at their dashboard and see exactly, yes, this person should have this and access to this, this, and this. So
Oh, so helpful. This was really, really great. Thank you, Grant. And so
cool.
exciting. Number one, I didn't realize you guys integrated so well with high level and we use tags.
Yeah.
Tags are our life, so that's amazing.
Yes, great.
And the fact that we can just do it from the get-go is pretty incredible. Okay, so
So I want to weigh in
yeah,
on this one a
yeah.
little. So yes to everything Grant said, but the one thing I would do different, I would have a dashboard that's for clients. That's not your 3-day event. Because chances are you're going to duplicate that the next 3-day event. And when you have,
That's
if you
fair.
have clients that join the event, which I mean, as leapers, we've joined a number of the virtual event on virtual events with Barry and Blue. It would be a little strange if we joined it and we got all kinds of client links on there while it's the 3-day event. And so it would be a little bit of a different experience in there versus we have a Leap dashboard. And so I would do a client dashboard with everything that Grant said of how to set up the rules for various clients and whatnot, but it's only clients that get access to that. It also protects you from if you make a mistake on the dashboard and something gets out and someone happens to go back to the dashboard, they don't get to see a client thing. Only your
I see what
clients
you're
would get to
saying.
see the client thing.
Okay, so I could make everything hidden for the event attendee, but then I wouldn't be able to duplicate that hub for the next event without
Yeah,
going to a lot of trouble. And then
yeah,
if we do it wrong, we might be unlocking client privileges.
and you can have as many events inside of your account as you want. And so it doesn't hurt to have a dashboard per event. And the other thing that gives you is right now your Go High Level account's working great for email. But if for whatever reason you start having deliverability problems, which we've seen clients with that, we've even seen Barry and Blue have deliverability problems at one point in time. Avio has communications in there as well. And so it makes it easy for you to not have to do all this filtering and remember what is all the different tags or how do I make sure that I message the right people. And it just leads to less confusion if your 3-day event is its own dashboard and your client is its own separate event dashboard.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, gosh, that's something to think about. Okay, because one thing just say that one person probably will not attend multiple events, whereas with Barry and Blue, that one person might want to go to every TVE. But mine's a little bit different. If you do one, you're probably not going to do another one by design. Um, but I can see that if us making a mistake and then all of a sudden everybody's getting all the client stuff.
And
Okay.
and I might rethink that, even if it's by design. Sometimes people that are in the programs love to show up just to support other people.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to go back through TVE again. We get all the stuff that they're going to show at a super deep dive being in the program, but we come back to the 3-day event more to be a support for people in the chat at and to see. But I mean, we do look a little bit about how to design stuff, but a lot of it is supporting other people. So your clients might come back just to support other people, and it's kind of nice sometimes to have friendly people that are in the chat that know the systems and are it might be something that long term, as you get more people in your events, you get more clients that come back just to support others.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thought too. Okay, so just follow-up question in case anybody else has any questions as well. So I'm sure you guys get this all the time. I'm a little bit confused about the difference between Obvio, which is the dashboards, I'm assuming, and Obi, because we're also going to be utilizing Obi for the 90 days, the journey. And we'll link that in Obvio. But will that ever become one, or is it always going to be two separate things? And can you give me the schematic of,
You think about them different in the different ways. Yeah.
yeah.
We we confused it more because it was that the first, Obi version 1 was built within Obvio, which
Mhm.
confused it more, right? But now it is completely separate.
Okay.
And it will always be completely separate Although there will be like integration because of owned by the same people, there is going to be easy ways to pass someone off from Obvio into Obi, and to make that really easy. But you would only think about that like similar to like a Zapier connection or something that's integrated and is just helping the integration between two completely distinct platforms. And so if you think about Obvio as your event delivery, now, albeit that we've just talked about it being also your program delivery, right? But the key purpose, what Obvio does is event delivery. It's about being a nice front end. And sometimes we think about it like it's the foyer that we've put on top of the ballroom, right?
Mhm.
So Zoom is the ballroom, and you could go and use your own Zoom and just have a ballroom, and away you go. But if you want the experience to be even better, then you're going to have a lobby area and a foyer area in front of that, which is now where it ties in a registration desk and like you think about that analogy of the experience, it's a much nicer experience for your attendees to not just walk in off the street into a ballroom, but to come through a lobby that has all this and they can speak to people and they can get extra resources and whatever, pick up their pamphlets and stuff, and then go into the ballroom. So that's kind of the Obvio experience. Now, what we were talking about as doing ongoing program delivery is just saying, well, we think we can actually make this lobby area kind of work for ongoing, and so that's fine. And that's a good use case of using a dashboard, which is Obvio. Obi, which unfortunately has a similar sounding name, um, it is a completely separate kind of course, delivery, but an outcome delivery platform, where you're taking people through a process, but it always will be separate. And so, is that helpful? Is that the way that you have it in your mind?
So thinking of Avio as the entry is great because I do want it one place and they can choose which door to go through, right? Depending on
Yeah,
where they want to go. So I'm assuming Obi is on the other side of the door, like what you're gonna do. Yeah.
could be. Yes. Yeah, in the same way that Zoom is on the other side of the door, right? Like where we're saying join the main stage or
Hmm.
join the Zoom meeting. Then Obi could be, if you wanted to do it this way, integrate it eventually like that as well, so that we already know who the person is because they've come onto the dashboard, and now we're going to say, hey, do you want to jump into and the term Obi is probably a term that is hidden away, in the same way that you've kind of hidden away Go High Level. High Level is the engine that's running it. Obi is the engine that's running it, but you might have, the some other name that you're using for that experience that people are having,
Right.
you know.
So
So,
similar to what go
uh,
ahead. I want you to finish.
y- oh no, just that the term Obi I don't think will help, and I don't think that it should be a verb or a adjective or something that people are using for their attendees. It'll be something else. It'll be a
The
course
90-day
name of
bookings
something.
engine. Yeah, the bookings
Right.
engine, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that AI something something, whatever. Yeah.
does that work the same way with Avio? So like if I did Justin's version or just the version where it's all together, I need to look at all the pros and cons. I'm seeing what Justin's saying though. Would
Mm.
they see Obvio or would they see Speaker Revenue Lab? And then, as the link into that dashboard, is that white labelable? Because right now for Leap, I see Leap dot
Obvio.
io.
Yeah, obb.io. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So at the moment, we we have Obvio, and then we have, you can't actually see it there. We've got a couple of other domain names that you can choose. It almost is white label in the sense that the dashboard is completely customizable, and so it can display nowhere on there does it say Obvio. It's only actually in the domain name. And even then, there's a couple of other domain names that you can choose so that it doesn't have to be obv.io. So I'll just double check that and
It
refresh
can
my
be
memory
something
because we
like SRL or
show
Speaker
you.
Revenue Lab dot o
It's
or
not,
at.
it's not a, it's not currently a custom domain where you can
Oh, I
just
see.
make it whatever you want or bring your own domain. You can see here that at the moment,
Oh, I
this
see.
is what we've got. Bootcamp.live, eventsoft.io is very generic, and then zoomiverse.com. So you can have, you know, migrateevent.zoomiverse.com. So that's currently how it is. Obi has full custom domain names, so you can do that. You can do that, and it's likely that that will roll back into Obvio at some point. We'll be able to do a similar thing.
So somehow on the
But at,
back end, like if let's say we stuck with Obvio, on the
mhm.
back end, it knows who it's going to. So it's not going to be custom in any way. It would just be they'd click on the Obvio extension, and then it will know it goes to Juan or Justin or Miriam. It will know who it goes to, right? Because when I click on the Leap one, it says, "Welcome, Antoniette."
Yes, correct. And so that is actually based around. Let me go through this way. That's based around the subdomain that is there at the front. So when we look at, if I was to just go here quickly, oh, um, you'll see here. So this is a way I've just gone into. This is the event we're in right now. I've gone into an attendee. I have a test account called Homer Simpson.
Love Homer.
I can click this. Yeah, I can click this button, and it's going to open up as Homer. And now you'll see. So the event that we're in right now is called Update. And so it knows the event. Now, Homer at Simpson.com could be registered on 1,000 Obvio events. So it's not based necessarily on their email address. It's based on the address, the subdomain address here, to know which event it is. So, and that's how we're able to pull in the name. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think it's going to make more sense. Thank you for the explanation, but I see what
Yeah.
you're saying
When you start sending links out and playing with that, then it'll make more sense.
for sure.
Um, and yeah, so you can choose what that first part of the address is, and then that's what you can use to send people back to, and then that's always the place they're going to. So yeah, I don't disagree with Justin about potentially doing it as separate events, and then as they've signed up to the new thing, then you give them access to a new dashboard, and away they go.
Kind of
Um,
cleaner and safer to do it that way, basically.
uh, Possibly, particularly, and Justin's point is that for doing a duplicate of that for the next of the event, the 3-day event for your next 3-day event, you can duplicate that event and that dashboard, and now it's all kind of ready to go while your ongoing delivery is in a separate event, and that can just keep going and keep it separate. So it's
Gotcha.
yeah,
I mean, everything's
but
going to probably be the
people
same.
okay.
The event's going to be the same, and our our 90-day, initial service is pretty much the same as well. So,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, I'll
and
look at it closer. I know that we're probably going to mess up though, and I don't want to unlock everything. You're just going to make mistakes along the way. I
totally.
don't want everybody to get everything that haven't paid for it.
Yeah, and so uh, you might find you just want to keep it all in one and lock down it based on tags, and you know this single place that everyone goes to, and that you've really thought about every button and everything that they have access to, and you just do it in one. It's a totally reasonable way of doing it, particularly
Okay.
as you're getting to know the platform, um,
Okay.
and then you might branch out from there. So
All right.
it's
So good.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Grant.
and first is worst, and iteration is the key.
We're all about that. All right.
and
Thanks a bunch.
and we're
Appreciate
here
it.
every week. Every week you can come back and we
And I
can
can bring
tweak
my
it for you.
partner, Fernanda. I can bring
Absolutely.
her as well.
Yeah,
Okay, great, great. All right.
100%. Yeah,
Thank you so much.
no worries. All the best with it. Um, all right. Hello, everyone else that's joined. I just double checked that we didn't get any questions posted through. Hey, look, it's you, Muddy. Um, okay. Cat did put in. Is Cat still here? Yes. Hello, Cat. I need help to make buttons to on my dashboard. I need help to make buttons too. Fair enough. Let's help you make the buttons too. Um, Cat, cat. Maybe she's gone away. Oh, there she
There she
is.
is.
Hello. Oh, oh. You're muted. We can see you. Let me unmute you.
Hello. I'm
There you go.
just
I've got
getting
you now. Yep.
I'm just getting groceries in from outside. So what my
Okay.
question what my question means is that I want to make my dashboard for my clients to be just like the Leap dashboard, where we only have one login, and no matter where we need to go, we can go from there. Because
Sure.
right now they have two, and I don't want them to have two, because one is for a public service that I have on Mondays, and I want them to be
Okay.
able to get to that. But then the other one is the private room that we have. I'm trying to log into my computer as we're talking. Um,
Yep.
1 second. It's hard for me
No
to
pressure.
think.
We
Okay,
we got time.
so I'm logging in. So
Are
what I'm
are
talking
all your
about is,
are all your
I'm
groceries inside, Cat?
yes,
Are they
I got all
inside?
the, I got all the
Okay, good.
important ones in the refrigerator. Yes. Okay,
Okay, good.
so you know how we have the buttons on Leap and we can just get to everything? That's what I want to
Yes.
do. And I don't know how to do that,
Okay.
because, they have their magic link kind of thing. And it's like, do I have to go to each one and add a magic link to each one? I didn't know how to do that. And I thought, no, I'm not even going to try to do that until I talk to you guys. So that's what I'm going. Okay, I'm logging in just a minute so you can talk to me better. But you have the idea, right? Um,
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, it's exactly what we were just talking about. Um, being
oh,
able to customize.
okay.
Yeah. What we're able to customize on the dashboard, based on tags. Remind me, you're using Go High Level, is that right?
Yes, I am. And I loved everything you just said, because I just told some other clients that a couple of them are from Leap, that because they're still doing the other one. And I said, I can't advise you on ClickFunnels if you're okay. Let me log out of this one. Okay. Can you mute my
You're
other
gonna
one
swap?
until I'm getting in here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna close my. So
You can just leave that one. That one, as in, yeah, get that. Make it, close it out of Zoom. So on your phone, she's probably not hearing us on either now.
yes, I'm hearing you on the computer. Okay, so
Okay.
you know what I need. That's what I need. That's what I need.
Okay. Um,
How do
so
I,
yes. So
can I
tell me
share my,
in,
you tell me how to do it?
yep. Yep.
Because I
So
was
tell me,
thinking how wonderful it was, but of course I couldn't follow everything that you were telling.
That's fine. Can you hear me okay, Kat?
I hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. Can you tell me about how you're tagging people in Go High Level? Like what sort of tags are they for the different programs or things? Is that how you're doing it?
If they go to an event, they have to register and they get tagged for the event. If they join my group, like I have the summer group, um, but we meet on Thursdays. But then I also have a public meeting on Mondays and they go to that. So I just have 6 people in there. So I just send them their link every time. And I never got their phone number. Of course, I'm going to do that tomorrow. When we meet, I'm going to get their phone number so I can text them.
Mhm.
But right now I just copy and paste their link every time to make sure they have it. And that's also my reminder, hey, we're going to meet. So, and I want to stop doing that because it's too much work and I'm going forward and trying to be smarter about things. And it's, of course, I want to do the leap kind of thing that they have one place to log in. And no matter what meeting we have, they can go to it just like our 30/30, what we do.
Okay.
So I tag exactly the way event per event and I send it over there. Justin taught me how to do it. So that's what I do for event. And then if they buy into my program or they're my trial program, they have another login. So I don't want them to have so many logins. And right now they only have 2, but I want them to have 1 and then be able to go to whatever meeting that we're doing that week.
Okay.
I want it just like
Yeah,
Leap. I want it just like Leap.
sure. Yeah, no, totally doable. The key is the quality data in Go High Level, right?
Okay,
So
so bunch of notes. Okay, because okay.
because we that's where we want to start. We
Okay,
want to we want to just think about the data.
when I
So
have the link that like Justin taught me how to get the link to tell Go
yeah,
High Level, this is the link and connect it. That's what I do for each event. So do I take that link? I don't know the steps to fix it.
yeah.
And if you
Just
already have a
Justin's
sheet somewhere,
ju-
I'm real good at
chomping.
directions.
Justin's chomping at the bit to
I,
to have a
yeah,
go
I
at
just
this.
want to mention one thing here. You mentioned just like Leap, but what I'm hearing from you, Kat, is you have a Leap-like program. That's the 6 people, paid clients, and then you have a program that's open to the general public in there. That would be if you think about meeting we're in currently, that would be like the Avio meeting. You have an Avio dashboard to get into this one, but the Leap dashboard is a totally separate dashboard, totally separate link. So I think that's the model you're probably looking to go towards.
Okay,
And
so go
so
ahead and still have 2 dashboards because that's what I have right now.
I I I
Okay.
think that's where you're going to probably end up because one's open to the public and then one's clients. You could put all the client stuff into the one that you're doing on Monday and use rules. Say if tag equals client or whatever the tag is, then show that button or show that section in there. Very similar to what Tamara has shown you in the past, and similar to what we've gone through when we've looked at rules on here. And that would get you one. And you just have to remember, you just got to, every time you add something for clients, you just got to go and put that visibility rule
Yeah,
on there.
it's just that the public one is ugly and the private one is the one I spent time in. And it's a nice one. It has all my Evo stuff. So
And keep it in,
So you would like
do it.
to, is it that you would like to make the private one public? That's the one you would like to use for everything,
No. I
right?
wanted to put the public one to stay the way it is. I just wanted a link to the public one from my private one because my private one is
perfect.
perfect, except they don't have the link
I
to the
see.
public one unless I give it to them or they go with their, I
Got
suppose.
it. This is Grant. I think this is just adding a button that when you select what option, it just says other and you put in the link to the other dashboard.
That's
And I
what I
think that
wanted.
would solve it.
That's what my thing said. I want to know how to find a button to go to my other dash.
Perfect.
That's exactly what my question was.
So, Kat, go ahead and share your screen and go to
Yes, sir.
um, actually,
Which one
don't
do you
share.
want me to go to? The
Actually,
public one or the
I
private
don't
one?
want you to share. I actually don't want you to share your screen at
Okay.
all. I'm
No.
gonna ask Grant
Whoa.
if he could share his screen, but we could go show where to find the URLs because I don't want, because we're live streaming, I don't want your URLs to all of your dashboards to be showing up to the
I
general
got you.
public.
I got you.
But we don't mind this dashboard showing up. And since I know Grant was sharing earlier.
You tell me what to do,
Yeah.
Justin, and I do it. You know that. It's like you
Yep,
teach
yep.
me to do.
So, Justin, are you thinking that they would have already been there, so we can just have a non-tokenized link, and we're
Yep.
hoping that they're gonna log in?
They're either going to log in or it's going to ask them their email address and they're going to put it in there and it'll put them on the dashboard.
Yep.
That is my assumption.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could share, Grant,
You
just so
all
we could share.
understand. I don't understand, but that's okay. You understand as long as you
Yep.
get my question and you teach me how to do it, I'm fine.
Exactly. And once Grant shares, we'll show you where you can find your URLs
Okay.
and we'll go create a little button.
It's hot outside here. It's 95 degrees. Humidity 52, which is low for us right now.
So
Okay.
Kat, on your dashboard, when you pull up the editor, if you go under the event,
1 second. Which dashboard is this, my private one or my public one?
let's go to your public one on your
Okay,
side.
public dashboard. I got it.
And when you go under the event menu on the left and go under settings,
Event settings. Got it.
you'll see there's this unique URL area and there's a little copy button. So you can copy that URL onto your clipboard.
Copy. Got it. I understand.
And now we want to go to your client dashboard.
Okay. You said client dashboard. Are you still in the same event?
It would be for you, you're going to go to a different event. It's the one that all your clients that are paying you get access to.
Okay,
The
stop.
really pretty one.
Just got lost. Go back to where you were. You copied and then what?
You want to pull up your pretty dashboard that all your clients are getting access to.
The good one.
The
Okay,
good
now
one.
go to the private dashboard.
And you're going to actually go to design and dashboard, the place where you add buttons and have all your
Go to
links and everything
design.
else.
Dashboard. Gotcha. I understand.
And then if you go ahead and add a button,
New button.
go ahead and just give it a name so that you know what it's actually going to be.
Calling it the Rooted Monday. Yep. It's exactly
Perfect.
what I told him I wanted to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Yep. And then if you look under the link section, if it doesn't already have page selected, go ahead and select
URL, and I paste the button from the public one, right?
exactly.
Paste public. Gotcha.
And then click save. And that is there now. There is one assumption that we made doing this.
Okay.
And the assumption is that all of your paying clients have already been added onto your Rooted Monday dashboard.
Yes.
Perfect. Then you are set.
So all I need to do is to make sure my private people log in or sign up for the public one, so then that'll work, right?
Exactly.
Because when I add them, I found out between Go High Level and stuff, Go High Level didn't like that as much as I add them to Go High Level, then let Obvio find it, because I did it the other way a couple of times and I screwed up things. So I learned I won't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go high level first.
Go
and
High
then
Level.
and once you have that integration hooked up, and you tag them with the
And they're
appropriate
always-
tag, it'll pull them in.
I thought I was doing them a favor by putting them just straight up with an Obvio, and it's like, no, Kathy, that is so screwed up. Okay, perfect. Thank you. That's exactly what my question was. That's exactly what I needed help with. That's it. I'm done. Thank you. Oh no, I'm not done. Grant, Justin told me that I had to write an email, but I haven't written the email, so I'm going to go ahead and put the bug in your ear. Is if you go open up one of my
Is this one for the speaker title?
no, it's
Okay.
the one that says August Summit. Go to August Summit, the one I just had. Because I want to clone it for my February one, but there's the one issue that I asked you about last week, Justin. But since Grant's here, I want him to see the problem so that he helps me figure this out. So I don't have to write an email. Don't make me write an email.
Nope, not making you write an email. It's on my list. I don't remember off the top of my head what
Okay.
it is, but it is in my
What it
list.
is that we have to we can put in our brand color. So I put in my brand colors, my teal color, my green teal right there. But when I want to go and do things in speaker, no matter, because every day has a theme color. Like one day it's the teal, the second day it's rust, and the third day it's this brown. And I wanted it like that. But when I went to the rust and the brown, it still made the main title teal because the main color is teal. And I don't like that. I want to be able to change it to the theme of that day's color. So if you go to the speakers for the August summit, Justin, and share it, then he can see what I'm
Yep.
talking
So I can already answer this one.
Uh-huh.
Told you I would tell the team about it, and the team is currently working on it. Grant, what she wants to have done is currently the speaker name just inherits the global text color, and she wants to be able to change that text color.
That's it.
So the team is currently working on that.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you. I'm done.
Awesome. Grant, back to you.
Sound is just dropping out a little bit. I've been doing a bit too much on my computer, and and so it's I did just drop out a little bit there, but I think we got that covered.
We got that covered. We are up to one, and one asked how to work with live support right after the offer has been launched.
Yeah. You want to tell us a bit more about that one?
Yes, sorry, I'm here. So as soon as the offer is launched, we send the people to the dashboard, and in the dashboard they have two buttons. One says, yes, I'm all, other says live support, immediate live support with one of our associates or whatever. How does that work technically? I asked that the other day in the meeting, and Blue told me to come to this call for that question. So here I am.
Good news is, one, that is actually really simple for you to set up on your side. Right in there, what you would do is set up another Zoom area, just like you have one that's going to be your main stage. You would set up one, you can call it sales lobby, you can call it talk to a program expert, whatever you name it. And the button on the dashboard, just like you're going to have one that goes to main stage, you would make that button go to the Zoom area for whatever your sales lobby is. And then you just have to have somebody on your team launch it just like someone on your team's currently launching the main stage. And once they're in there, then attendees can come and see them.
Okay. Now I have 3 people in my team that I would like to have, I mean, hopefully there's a lot of questions, and I don't want to have one person in a meeting room, say with, I don't know, 20 people, right? Because that's just gonna make it less personalized. So I want to personalize it as much as possible. And that's why I've assigned 3 people of my team to be ready for that live chat in case it gets to that point. So if I have, could I have, what do you recommend basically? Should I have one of them in a different Zoom area, or how would you go about it?
Yeah. So in this case, it would be the same Zoom. You would want 4 people total. One person is going to be concierge, air traffic controller that'll greet people as they come in. And then the other 3 people that are your actual salespeople, put them in a breakout room. And then you can send the attendees into the breakout room to have conversations with them. And that 4th person that's that's the concierge, is sitting there with them in the room like we're at now. And would just tell them, like, if we were doing sales lobby right now and all 3 of your sales coaches were busy, I'd be like, on, welcome on in. And what is the question that you have? So maybe I could figure out who to direct. And then if no one's available, I say, just hang out here. Here, our salespeople are talking to folks right now. Once they're ready, I'll put you in a breakout room. And once one of them becomes ready, you stick the person in the breakout room.
Oh, okay. I mean, I could also, I don't mind them going right into the breakout room and, just have them, because it's actually good for them to have him listen to the other person's questions.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
But
right.
essentially,
I love doing group ones. You'd mentioned you wanted it
yeah.
more personalized, so sometimes that means
No, what I meant
one-on-ones.
was instead of having like one person with 20 people, maybe have 3 people with 5 people each.
Yeah.
So is the best way to do that with breakout rooms, or is there a
Breakout
better
rooms.
way?
Is it? It definitely is. Can you hear me? Okay. I just
Yes.
changed my sound around. Yeah. It definitely is the best way to do it is to do breakout rooms. But you want to, so there's a technical approach, and what you're also touching on is like, what is the experience that people are having as well. And so I think that the group questions are really powerful. People learning from other people's questions. What we have seen, so if we learn from large scale events where we've had 700 people, right, in a sales lobby, is that there are often categories of breakout rooms that we have where people might have just a specific question about using multiple credit cards, for example, right? And it's like, I want to split it across multiple credit cards. And so let's go to someone that can just help you through that. Is more of a manual process. So you don't have any major questions. You don't have major questions that are, you've already basically signed up. You just need the help to get across the line. Then you can transfer them to someone meaning put them in a breakout room with a team member that can just help them through that last little step. Right. So it's a good example of a specific question or needing help with something. But the general concept would be, I think that you could not just have coaches just sort of kind of sitting, or salespeople just kind of sitting in a room by themselves because one person's got 5 and this person's got 0, and they're just waiting. You could be a little bit more dynamic. You can set up breakout rooms. Is your team familiar with sending people manually to breakout rooms?
I don't think so. We'd have to practice.
Yeah. It is a straightforward process. Once you're in Zoom like we are now, you'll hit breakout rooms, and then you create breakout rooms, but the option is to manually assign, which means you can create as many breakout rooms as you want. There's nobody in them, and everyone has to be assigned to them. And so a co-host, someone that has co-host capability in Zoom, is able to see all the breakout rooms and jump between them. They can just hit join, they'll join the breakout room, they'll jump in, right? Also, co-hosts have the ability to assign any of the attendees to any of those breakout rooms. And so
Yeah.
I would have, in your case, I would have 4 or 5 breakout rooms that are ready and available. And then it could be, depending on how the flow of people come in, you could have your team of 4 people or however sitting in the main area, and a few people come in, there's 4 or 5 people, and you're all just having the discussion together. But then another 5 people come in or 10 people come in, and now it's like, hey, I'm just going to pause the conversation for a second. We've got a bunch of people here. We're just going to split off half of you and Justin's going to go into a breakout room with you and be able to answer some questions for you there. So we're just going to assign that now.
Yeah.
Great. And so I agree. I agree with Justin. You can do a triage, kind of like a person is just sitting in the main room and they just, okay, I'm just going to assign you to group 1, or I'm going to assign you to room 2 or whatever. That is a way of doing it. I do think that there is another way, which is kind of using the main room as a Q&A group space, which is what you were saying too. You don't mind people dropping straight into mid conversation about, a question being answered. But then you've got the best of both worlds where, okay, we've got 30 people, we've got, 10 hands raised. We're going to split off into a couple more groups now. We're going to put a few of you into this group, and we're still going to keep a main group going in the main meeting. And I think that works really well too. If you, I'm not quite sure, I understand a little bit about your program, but I'm not sure if you would jump into the lobby or your wife, as in, that's not the plan at all.
Yeah, no, that's not the plan at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes that can happen, right? Sometimes you might have a break and in your main session, and you're saying, I'm just going to go jump into the lobby, into the sales lobby. If there's any other questions, I'm going to be there. And sometimes that can work well for you to jump in for 15 minutes or whatever it is. And if you're going to do that, then you are likely to just have everyone in that main meeting, even if there is 30 people, and you would just fire off a bunch of answers to questions, and you rally the troops a little bit more, and you kind of they like seeing you there, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's just something to consider, But otherwise, yeah, I think there is, I know that Barry spoke about the LEAP training on, what's that called, Justin? It's called team something.
There's a team training. There's also there is a sales lobby training, or coaching zone might be what it essentially is called.
Right. Yeah. But from a technical point of view, we are on the dashboard. We're creating a new button, which is a new area. It's got one Zoom meeting in it. And then you launch that, you open that, start that meeting. And then once you're in that meeting, you can create breakout rooms, maybe 5 or 6. You can have as many as you want, and you don't have to use them all, right? So, because you're manually assigning them. So sometimes we'll have 4 rooms, for example, that are for general sales, and then we have, like I said, a finance one, a finance place, and then we have a tech one, and that's just this person's having all problems with their tech. Let's just let's just send a team member in there with that person, and it's just a private space that can just work something out. So that's how we use breakout rooms within a Zoom meeting.
Perfect. Super clear.
That's making sense. Okay, good.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then Juan, I did send you a private message in this Zoom with the direct link to the coaching zone training that they have in LEAP.
Perfect. I got it. Yeah, I just opened it too. Okay.
Perfect. And then
thank you so much, guys.
I do want to talk a little bit about having someone in the room for a minute, because we were talking a little bit about experience. I have seen a decent number of people come into a room and then leave the room without ever asking the question, because it's a little jarring to come into a room with people that are having a full-blown conversation and not have any kind of welcome in, or you're in the right spot. That's one of the reasons I personally prefer having that kind of air traffic controller concierge, just to welcome people in. And even if it's just a welcome on in and letting them know, I'm going to put you in a room with coach so-and-so or whatnot, just so they have a little bit more of that personal side than just being dropped into a room of a bunch of talking people and hoping they clicked on the right link.
I agree with that. I just push back a little bit, and that is that the host of that main room has to welcome people as they come. I think that's the key. Is it's like, hey, I'm answering Justin's question, and we'll just do that. But Kat, I see you've just joined. Thanks for joining. Just answering Justin's question at the moment. If you want to just put your question in the chat, then we'll get to that in a moment, right? So it's like bang straight away, and then we're back to that question. So it's just the way you
Totally
handle it.
agree. If the person
Totally
is the
get
one
it.
answering the question, I run a number
Can
of
do that.
coaching where I'm the concierge, but I'm not the coach. And so it's really
Right.
tough to interrupt the coach if they're answering questions. But if it's the same person, absolutely they can break what they're doing and welcome the person in, but someone needs to welcome them in.
Yeah.
That's really the key.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But
Super clear.
why not just say as well that we this recording of this meeting right now is on YouTube, because we just live stream it to YouTube. And so that link you could send to your team to just watch this little segment of us talking about it, and that might be helpful too, just to let you know that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys.
No worries.
Welcome.
Welcome. All the best with it. It's a good problem to have, having lots of people asking questions about trying to buy your program.
Yes, it is.
All right. Have we got another question?
Grant, I do have one.
Okay.
I've gotten a couple people that have asked, where are the walkthroughs? And so if you could share where those are out on the YouTube channel, what walkthroughs we have, that would be great.
Oh yeah. Could do that. Yeah. There's a couple of, we could do some new ones too, actually, but I'll show you here. I'll just show you this YouTube channel because it's pretty hidden away. It's not like it's not getting millions of views because it's very, very niche. But there are a couple of like builds. So Blue did a couple. He did a Jimbo build of a dashboard, which is, it's pretty sort of design heavy in that, I mean, how it looks. And so if you're more interested in, I want to make this, how do I make it look the way I want it to look, then that's a really good one. And so same with this one, with Liz. He does the same thing where it's like actually trying to match a sales page design to how the dashboard looks and feels. So that's a good one there. This one's a little bit older, but it's actually still relevant. And that I'm just stepping through from start to actually getting an event just working in Obvio. It's 45 minutes, but you could put me on double time and you'd knock that over in 20 minutes. And so that's a handy one too. And then there are the workshop ones that you'll see if we go back to the dashboard that you were just on. There's more the extensive, it's of the workshop recordings, and they're the longer ones that go through all the details. So that's some extra things to look at. And then of course we're here every week, and you can ask entry-level questions or advanced questions or wherever you're at is what we can do. So, all right. Any other questions? Oh, is Obvio online viewable by the public? Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. It was Obvio. Obvio was taken, so we had to use Obvio online. Post that link. Yeah. And all of these recordings are put there just for ease of use. But also, when you click on the link to join this meeting, if you go down the page a little bit, there's a playlist of all these recordings as well. So that's another easy way to find them. So, cool. You're welcome, Miriam. Bye-bye. All right. Any other questions? Right. Laura, you put your camera on. I'm anticipating something.
Well, I have a non-obvio question that's more tech related. I have a window
Sure.
directly in front of me, and about this time of day, I definitely like I'm getting all sorts of funny, like glowiness on my face. And I'm also aware like I have two different sets of like a lighter color gray over here that kind of blocks out like my formal entryway that's like two-story with a lot of light coming in. And then I
Okay.
also can block out the windows in front of me with the same kind of like this light color. It's like a light gray.
Okay.
And then I
Yep.
have kind of where the entrance to the kitchen is covered with the black in the background. And so
It's
part of it
cool.
is I want to figure out just a little bit of uplight so that I can control the light in here a little bit more. Um, and I didn't know if there
Yeah.
is smaller that isn't, it definitely is not going to be anything like where I'm trying to light my face or like hair lights. But anyway, all the things I've tried so far,
So
just a little
that's great.
too large or obtrusive.
Yeah. I love what you've done because I think it's it's a great look.
For the
And
summer, we turned
so
it into a movie room. So that's why I got a couch and an ottoman. And then they've been using the vibe board for movies.
that's cool.
The
That's
kids, the
cool.
teenagers took over the studio for the summer.
R- Right, fair enough. Um, yeah, so the sun is an amazing light source that when we can use it is great, but of course it's inconsistent,
Yeah.
which is what you find, right? You end up being so it's hard too because sometimes you have your computer screens or things in the way, and so like even at the moment half the top of your face is lighter than the bottom half of your face,
Yeah.
right? And it's just kind of what happens because of how the light is coming in. And so as much as it's really nice having daylight, the consistency of being able to get the light on your face consistent the whole time means that then you know that it's always the same. Do
Right.
you have, I know you're saying about some set lighting. Do you have lighting on your face now, or have you got that
No, I just
already?
have
No, you
the
don't.
this like the iMac, this kind of the how
Yeah,
bright my display is. And I turned
sure.
it kind of in the summer configuration so that I could see out the front window with the neighborhood kids playing. Or if my son was mowing the yard or
Nice.
doing other things,
Yeah, nice.
see the cars come and go, right? So I would know when he left for work and that kind of thing. So part of this is
Um,
it's not how I would configure for an actual event when I want to be able to wear like I have like a Shure mic that I'm able to walk. So I'm not just
nice.
stationary stuck right in front of the computer. And
Yeah,
so I'll reconfigure in the fall, like do all the reconfiguration with right so that I can use right the different mic sources and the different angles, right? So that I can click the button and have like over the shoulder so you can see what I'm looking at and then I can
nice,
see
nice,
them,
nice,
right?
nice,
That
nice.
type of setup. I'll get that back up again. But um I think part of it is just I feel like I keep making investments in lighting and I that's the part I just can't quite get right.
Yeah,
So I definitely know all of the things that have been suggested since the very beginning in 2020 with Blue.
sure.
Uh, but
Yeah,
there's something about I don't know. I think it's a little bit more about trying to make it feel a little bit more like a stage with a little bit of uplight. And I had used like my plant lights, like my uplights that I would put behind a plant, right, to like illuminate the
right.
um, and I was like, well, that doesn't quite work. But anyway, I didn't know if you had any thoughts on how to make
Absolutely,
the
absolutely do.
backdrop
Yeah,
a little bit more
yeah.
like
It just
I
pops a
don't want
little
it to
bit.
overtake, but I definitely don't want it to look like it's um too dark, right? And too black.
Yeah. So we tend to call that curtain warming.
Okay.
Is that we're warming the curtain, and so often you can do like a blue light on a black can work quite well, but blue in the color spectrum is the least bright, right? Which means that you end up needing quite bright lights to be able to do it. But something like what I've got,
Yeah, I was gonna say what color
this,
is your because I see
yeah.
it's
So that,
definitely got a purplishy color.
yeah, and this is not my intended um, setup, I'm halfway between changes, but I've got these little lights
Yes, that's the type
that
of thing. Yes.
yeah. So these are battery operated, and but yeah, of course, you just plug them in to power, and then they just use a little app, a little Bluetooth app on your phone, and you can choose the colors and you can
Okay.
sync them all. And so I highly recommend these. I'll get a little link for them.
Okay. Thanks.
They're great, and then you can sort of place them wherever. And there's little clips that you can, and I've got one that's you can kind of see that there's a little bit of light coming up. So there's one
Hmm.
that's just above, and it's just clipped on, and it's kind of shooting down, and that's
Yeah.
another thing that you can do, so that you could put a little bit. Yeah, perfect. You
I've
could
got
put
like
one
the
on the
tension
ceiling.
rods to go, yeah, from floor to ceiling. And then
Great.
yeah, so I was trying to even think about even like some of the like little fairy like lights, or
Yeah,
whether I was going to do
perfect.
it vertically or whether it's just at the top. I don't know. My
Yeah.
15-year-old daughter, I think, is going to maybe help me with some of the like
Well,
making it a little bit more feminine, for my right
well,
15.
that fair enough. Well, and do you know, it's interesting that you're asking this now, because I'm just starting exploring doing some coaching in this area. And
Okay.
so I'm sort of focusing in, not that I'm not trying to sell that. What I'm just saying is that it's real current for me.
Well, and it's
And
a
one of the
need on the
things,
market. Yeah.
yeah, it is. And so one of the things that I think about with space is it's really important. It's really important that you feel comfortable in the space.
Hmm.
And so I, I would say that you use that as your where you start from,
Okay.
because it's possible, it's very possible to make that look incredible through the camera, but that it feels a little bit uncomfortable or messy, or there's cables here and there's that light's hanging in there and whatever. You've done all this stuff
Yeah.
to make it look great through the camera. But when you walk into that space and you just stand there, it just feels messy, or not a grounding, comfortable space to be in.
Well, I felt the
And so,
room was getting warm. It was like the lights and the energy.
right?
I felt like I had to
Yes.
decrease the temperature of the house. And then I also
Yes.
was like, am I having a hot flash? No, no, no. No, it's really that I
Right.
have direct light and I feel the warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
That's
was like,
that's
oh, maybe
fascinating too.
I can move it off to an angle, still get the illumination and the controlled light over the course
Yeah.
of, right, the full event day. Because I don't really want it to
Yeah.
fluctuate, even though there are aspects where I want to bring in the element of the sunrise and sunset and some of those elements, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, more controlled lighting
Yeah.
over the course of the consistency for the event. I understand
Yeah.
it's different than just day to day. I want to enjoy my space while I'm, right, going about, doing my day-to-day work or meeting with just a
Yeah.
individual client or a small group.
Yes. And hopefully there is a balance between those, where when you really have to be on, when you're doing an event,
Yeah.
it is a really comfortable space that you feel like, this is when I'm at my best, is when I stand in this spot right now.
It
Right?
almost reminds me like when I would be on stage and it would be the spotlight, like when you had, right, you were doing the
Yeah.
lead song, right? It definitely, there's
Yeah.
aspects where I feel that and I can handle that in terms of the energy for an event, right? That is,
Yeah.
that you are really hosting and you're creating the energy for the whole room. But it
That's
definitely
right.
is hard to keep that for just week on week, right? Even for delivery of your program after, right, the 3-day experience.
I love that, because it's immediately where I go to, is that what is it about the stage? Of course, there's all these people that are all looking at you. What is it about that makes you, it's like, I've heard it said, when you're presenting, it's like it's you plus 20%, or like it's just like you're coming alive more. And
Yeah.
so what I think about is, how do we event from home? Like, how
Yeah.
do we do that and get as close to that as possible. And what are the things that we are doing that are fighting against that for us? You know, and so
figured the
I
ring
think
light definitely does not. I've like had to retire the ring light. It just does not work. I seem to
it's
have
great. Yeah,
like a big circle and it
it's good to
just
know.
does not work.
No,
So
it's not normal, right? It's
yeah.
not normal. And you can argue that being on stage is not normal either, and the bright lights that are coming down, but that it does feel different, and you're probably more used to that than what you would be at home with, yeah, a ring light right in your face. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. And so big soft lights are really nice, and especially in the space. So you get and I can send you a link to these ones as well that are actually pretty good too, because you can put them further away, have it quite bright, but it doesn't feel like it's really bright in your eyes. So then you look great on camera, and then creating the set lighting that you want in the space is about how it looks, so that the key thing is that you pop out of the screen.
Mhm.
Right. And I know you're not in the right setup that you're doing right now, but
Right.
just as an example,
Yep.
you just kind of disappear into the background a little bit.
Yes. I'm
And
trying to fix that. Yeah.
yeah.
Add another
And
dimension
so,
because there's quite a few feet behind me, but it doesn't
yeah,
necessarily read
perfect.
that well. Yeah.
No, and part of it is the camera a little bit as well, right?
Yeah. It's just my
Because
standard iMac. I don't have
sure.
the separate individual camera that it's got the right
And
lens.
you've got one, right?
Yes.
You
I
have got
probably
one.
need
Yeah.
to install it and then come and have it tweaked a little bit because it yeah. I stopped using it because it didn't always make me look
Work.
fabulous. But
Fair enough.
I'll bring it to another session after I install it and say, okay,
Yeah, do.
this is the part that I'm still struggling with. How can I tweak it a little bit? Because yeah.
Well, the thing that'll change is with a bigger lens, it'll have a depth of field to it where the background will just start to um, uh, go out of focus,
Mhm.
and that's exactly what you want, because at the moment with a setup like this, you have the same focus as the lighthouse, right?
Yes.
So arguably, the lighthouse is slightly more focused than you are, in
Yeah.
just in the way that it looks. And
Yeah.
so, and I know we're not critiquing this, right? Because you don't do
Mhm.
your events like this. I'm just using
Yeah.
it as an example that when we're looking at your frame at the moment, my eye constantly gets pulled off to the lighthouse because
Yeah.
because that's what's in focus. And
Sure.
when we get that out of focus and you're focused, you're telling people subconsciously, look at me. Like,
Yeah.
don't get distracted by anything else in the frame. And so that's the advantage of what we're trying to do, is to make the background really separate, which brings you more out, brings you more into focus, makes it
Yeah.
easier for people to concentrate on what you're saying. All of these things is like it just works so much better. And so, and I would argue that all of your business meetings and things like that will all benefit from that as well. And
Yes.
so if you can get it to where you're really happy with it for events, then it will likely work for one-on-one meetings as well. And people will be blown away by it, because they'll just be
Yeah.
like, wow, your image looks great. What is your setup?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, lighting will definitely help. And so getting something that you can just sort of turn on for when you want it to look right. Because it's the other thing is you're going to sit in that space and you do just want to be able to see out the window too, right? Like
Yeah.
it's important to be able to do that. So I'll pull up a couple of links and send it to you
Awesome.
with some
Thanks, Mike.
ideas. Not always that gear is the is the fix on everything, but sometimes it is.
And then
Anyways.
more
And I found even like floor space, right? Like some of the tripods that, to put those bigger lights, it just feels
Yep.
like there is a lot of space on the floor that you're having to walk around.
Encroaching. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of, I don't necessarily want to put holes in the ceiling. That's why we did the tension
Okay.
rods, so we wouldn't have to put a whole bunch of holes for the curtains, especially if I wanted
Yep.
flexibility to change the location of them. And it's just trying to figure out the right balance, right? Like wanting to create different little scenes, right? Whether it's like
Yeah.
having an angle with a camera that is more with a particular piece of art or a bookcase
Hmm.
versus
Hmm.
like, so
Hmm.
that whether it's the laser coaching or, you know, like a slightly different set,
Yeah. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
by
Love
changing
that.
and turning by 90 degrees, I've got enough walls that I could create these little vignettes. So
I really love that. And you'll see over the next few weeks that I'm going to be testing a few ideas as well. And one of those is like a high table and a high chair to be able to sit at. Because even though I haven't got a lot of space, I can go back a fair bit and just
yeah.
have somewhere where I can sit. Because I do think there's something about this look as well that we've kind of defaulted to this look, which is this
Mhm.
kind of look. And I think it's not as good as this look.
Yeah.
And right, because this look and what I was like, what is it about this that feels better? And I think it feels like you're sitting across a coffee table with someone.
Mm.
And that's more the look that we want, I think,
Over your
rather
face, right?
than this look, right?
Yeah.
Because what's this? I'm like, you're like 2 feet away from me. This is
Yeah.
not normal. And I can't see your hands.
Yeah.
And so what are you doing with your hands? And I think so then this look lit well and properly done right, actually now you're showing your hands a lot more and it feels more like you're having a conversation with someone in a more comfortable space. And so, and you can dance, Kat. That's, it's the way to do it. Anyway, so we'll keep exploring those. But I love what you're thinking with a different look, laser coaching. There are times where you might lean in because you might, in the way that we interact with people one on one, even in that coffee time, you might lean in
Yeah.
at a point,
Yeah.
because you might lean in and touch a hand, or you might be just like,
Yeah.
what does this mean for you? That's the
Yeah. So I
difference.
do
Is
have the
then,
standing
but then you're
desk,
resetting back to
and it's
this.
like trying to figure
Yeah.
out when and how to adjust that depending on how I want to turn things. But the other piece I really have to still work through, and I'll get it set up and then I'll bring it to a future week, is when I'm actually doing drawings on the vibe board and I have the option to show the HDMI connection
Yep.
where it's actually like just the screen split with
Yeah.
an actual camera that shows my hand actually drawing it so that you can see the
Right.
dimension of, right, that it is being driven or
It's
it's
you.
being drawn live. So making sure that I've
Yep.
got the ability to jump between. And then I do have like 1,000 square feet in the basement that if I really can't make it work with just this room, I could expand into, but then I got to figure out how I deal with unfinished ceilings in part of it. But it definitely would give me more
It's cool.
flex if I am trying to do too many things right here. So
Yeah. And look, clearly I could spend a couple of hours with you and I'd love to. But the thing is that I think we don't have to be TV, right? Like we don't have to have lots of angles and things, because it doesn't have to be jarring to people. But in every angle that we're doing and every extra input we're doing, it has to come back to, how does the attendee feel when I do this? Like,
yeah,
what purpose does that serve, right? As
yeah,
you mentioned, that over the shoulder shot that just gives context for people. You might do it once or twice in the whole event,
yeah,
but it gave them context and they could see it. Same again with the vibe board. I think cutting to the vibe board full screen is something you do rarely and intentionally. You do it because it's very detailed, and we want to
mhm,
show them really clearly what we've just done. If it's not that detailed, then like you said, having you in the context of that is more normal,
yeah,
right? Because you got to think, it's like grabbing someone's head and pushing them against the vibe board and saying, there you go, right?
mhm,
Versus them just feeling like, if I want to focus in on the vibe board, I can. But if I want to focus in on Laura, I can,
yeah,
right? And so it's constantly thinking about those camera angles, and not just to make it more TV or techie, but that it's serving the human to human connection. It's always that. It's always like, how do I make this better for them to feel like they're connecting with me, not necessarily that they're able to connect in my space as much, but it's all about that connection back to you is how I think. So
I think I over complicated things. So that's why I stripped it all down and I said, go back to just the
right.
camera on the iMac. And then you can start, now that you
Yeah.
know, right, more, you can build it with a slightly different configuration next time. And then one of the
Totally agree.
elements, and I played around with it both at the end of night one because it's a little bit darker, and then end of day three, which is more the right place for it to land, is an activity that we bring in the visual of an outdoor fire. And so having the camera feed that comes in from
Cool.
that, we're always playing with, the weather element. And then we have it pre videoed in case we need to cut to a version if it starts to rain or something that isn't
Right.
ideal. But it helps with kind of the concept of, right, you burn the thing you want to release, right? So just like you're making
That's
a decision
cool.
of commitment, it's the symbolism of, right, you igniting the fire. And what are you letting go?
I love that so much. Laura, let me tell you this that I think you could use and will love is I did an event with people that were not tech savvy at all and were really reluctant to do this thing online. And I said to them before we did the session, I said, I want everyone to bring a candle and I want you to set it up in a way where we can see the candle.
Mm-hmm.
And so prepare your space, no matter how it is. You bring in some sort of stand or something, and so that in the background you have a candle. And so the first thing that we did at the start of the session was everyone lit their candles,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so now you can imagine this, right? A gallery view, full. Now people have all these random
Hello.
views,
Yeah.
but everyone had a candle. Everyone had a candle. And so immediately what this did was there's the warmth from it, there's the light from it, there's this idea that it's just the spiritual aspect of it, of candles.
Mm-hmm.
But what it did was it created common experience for everyone, which instantly builds community.
Yes.
So before we did anything in our session, everyone had a common experience.
Yeah.
We're all in the same level playing field because we all have a candle. And it's like whenever we're feeling like we're going in different directions, just take a moment, just look at your candle. It's like everyone looks at the candle, and no matter where they are in the world, they're having this common experience.
Yeah.
And so it's super, super powerful and really easy to do, right?
Yeah. And we use
So I
the
love that
concept of
idea
like
of fire.
firehouse or fireside chat, right? So that's more like a
Yeah.
throughout the year together, right? We gather to tell stories around the fire, right? And so different people will light a fire and bring it potentially into their view. But there's an element of being able to kind of play off of, you kind of echo it potentially end of day one, but then there's more of a
Right.
connection to close it out at the
Yeah.
end, right in the last
Absolutely.
session. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's just
getting the
simple
the
things.
cutover from the right cameras, right? Like that's
Yeah.
where that's where you don't tech your own show.
Totally. That's right. And that's where it can be a train wreck
Mhm.
when it's like, I went to cut to this camera and I've cut to the vibe board. It's got nothing on it,
Yeah,
and now I can't get the button back. It's like,
yeah, yeah,
it was like, had you have just left it on the camera that it was on, it would have been fine.
yeah.
So that is the risk. But yeah, I mean, I love all this stuff because I think that um, we saw it through COVID, but that it opened the world for
Mhm.
people to be able to do this stuff more.
Yeah.
Um, and I saw so much of it that is just like, I think people are still holding back a little bit from what they can do from home. It's totally possible, and so I get kind of excited about it because I think it can be really amazing.
Awesome. Well,
It's really
thanks.
cool.
Now you
Yeah.
know
My,
what
my
I'm
turn.
playing with
My turn to
Blender.
chime in.
Oh yeah, Justin,
Yeah.
add your
Uh,
expertise here.
Yeah, so one thing that I would consider changing is your backdrop. I used to
Oh
have black
yes, I totally
curtains.
need to
So
change
for
it.
ages, my my setup was black curtains and I wore dark colors. And I've got some really, really funny recordings where I literally look like a floating head.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit what's happening with you in there with the dark color outfits you have in the background, that it's really a vibe board with some floating body parts in there.
I haven't gone to like change out, but I don't like having the black in the back. But I didn't want to like go through the process for just the summer, and I wanted to change it so I could have the view out the window. But I know that right now this isn't working, right? It's like I have elements I need to figure out how to configure better, and I almost like the lighter color. And thankfully I have kind of the same lengths that I can swap it out. I just need to ask my 19-year-old son that's taller than me to come in and help me get the tension rods to work quite right. So,
so either you could swap out background or you could swap out outfit you're wearing to something that's not
a
dark
little
like
bit
the
brighter, not
background.
black. Yeah.
Because then
Navy.
even with the current camera you had, if you had a lighter outfit on, it would still separate you out a little bit. I think one of the reasons we're drawn to your vibe board is it's the brightest thing in your actual picture. So our eyes are just drawing to that natural light.
Yeah.
Where if you had something that matched it a little bit more, we'd be drawn more to you.
Yes.
And
I think that's why I sometimes don't speak up, because I'm like, it's not right. I know it's not right, but I'm just trying to get more comfortable having my camera on when I'm in group settings, and to like remove that filter in my mind. Like, oh, I know it could be improved, but it is what it is, right? I want to show up to connect, with a camera shot rather than like, because I think in Obvio, for the most part, like our little profile pics, right? You don't necessarily see those. It just has our name.
Yeah.
Signed into Zoom. So I tried to improve that for when I'm in Zoom communities where they can see that picture. So at least it's not just a name, if I am off camera. But
and I will tell you, no matter how much tech you have, no matter how amazing your studio setup is, you're always going to find something that you see in somebody else's that you're like, oh, I wish I had that, even though I don't need it.
Nice.
There's always that, oh, if I had that kind of moment. But thankfully, our audience doesn't actually really notice that unless it's a train wreck behind you. Our audience doesn't notice the difference between good and amazing. I think because they're connecting with you and the messaging that you have and the way you're going out to the fire and having those conversations. That's what they're really there for. And so once you get to that good state, you don't have to keep perfecting the thing in there at all. And so I think you've gotten some great advice on here. I'm going
to apply some of it, and then I'll come back and we'll keep tweaking until I'm ready for my event.
and I would love to hear, I know Tamara's in the theater world and does a ton of this stuff and sees a bunch. I'd love to have a few. See if she has anything, since she had her hand up and I saw some stuff in the chat.
Listen, because I light people on Zoom in like this digital space, like hundreds of people. Before you, their recommendations are awesome, but they're all behind you recommendations. Take your ring light that you hate and bounce it away from your face, either off your ceiling or off that white curtain in front of you, so that you can get the soft light without getting the round circle. You can do it also with an $8 desk lamp from Target. So play around with what you have first before you make another huge investment in lighting, because you're going to continue to make investments in lighting, and we can see you and we can hear you. So it is not as bad as you feel it is. It's a little dark here, but you can probably get that with that. I'll put them in the chat too. The LumaPad, Nan Light and LumaPads are cheaper than most things. And they're like the big one is 25 and is a 25-inch. And I think it's less than $100. And then the little ones, I have people who just take two of the little ones and they're still pretty bright. Those are like $49 each. So there's ways of doing it with like good lighting, but for what you're looking for in terms of your front light, play around with what you have right now, especially if you're not moving around as much when you are, because you know what you need for a studio lighting, but for sitting at your desk and going to meetings, like we can see you and hear you already. So you're not talking about a lot, like you have to go and spend a lot of money to up that one thing that you need so that you can just become comfortable turning your camera on.
And this
wherever
desk,
you
the
are.
standing desk is pretty big. So even to take like a vertical pole that I can attach to the desk, so I can get some some lights on the angle. And then I really just need to close the curtain or close the like the blinds and then close the actual blackout curtain so that I really can start to play with the lights.
I know we've talked about your black curtain, but if you did take one of those tube lights and pop it on the floor, you'll add light to that curtain. If there was a way to angle your computer and camera so that we're just getting that black background, then we're gonna not be, we don't care what the color is. Like, you're gonna wear a lighter color, you can add some fill light behind it and it'll look amazing. It'll just be like just solid you, and you'll still have your other place to be able to move around and then use that white wall as a totally different set. So you've got a lot of options in that little space there.
Because I can go a little bit farther back with the desk, so then you don't see this over here.
Right.
And then when I do the fixed Sony camera with the lens, then I'm able, it gives that like
it'll give you the bokeh and the depth of field.
The bokeh, yeah. And I think that will help me be able to figure out, because that was where I was running into problems. It evidently was catching too wide of a angle.
Right.
And I've got the big iMac, so that's why it's catching.
So from a lighting standpoint, here's
walls.
the things you need to know. You want light coming from you from two different angles. So if you're going to do a panel light in front, you want a little fill light on the side, or you can do two little panel lights coming at a 45-degree angle, and that's going to give you your full coverage that you want. That'll give you a little bit of dark on one side. It'll give you what you're looking for. So two lights. Those lights can be desk lamps. Those lights can be
use this light for like a hair light from the top, or I should turn that off for?
You should play around with it. You should play around with it. Your key lights are going to come from the front, and then your hair light's going to come from the back. But if you also if you do get a pole light, if you get one of those lights, or even there's like a little tiny box square light that Mickey made me get a bunch of, that you pop that in the back, and it's like $18 will give you that color, not $70 that the tube light will cost. So there's lots of I used to, when we started in COVID, I wrote a script. I bought a studio that I had to learn how to use. 6 years, I'm still learning how to use it. So my new way of doing things is starting small and growing up, because you can grow your kit like a little bit at a time, but it's much easier to start playing at a cheap level. So play with whatever you have. Like, you have a lamp that's in another room, bring it into your room, play with two sets of lights, try to get that angle so that you can get comfortable to every single meeting you go into, that you turn your camera on, because you look amazing.
I take the lampshade
every time
of my lamp.
You can take the lampshade off. You can.
My husband thinks I'm crazy. He's like, what are you doing?
So the other thing too is, remember, direct light is sometimes people will use their desk lamp and they're like, I look terrible. Take your lamp and just twist it up to the ceiling and use your ceiling as that big white space and let it bounce onto you. It'll be nice, softer, and much more inviting. So there's lots of ways to do it cheap. And then when you kind of have an idea of what you need, then go and spend money.
Tweak it a little bit more. Okay.
Because you can get a lot, especially for you to just get comfortable. You can do that for free now. You can do that for $8 at Home Depot with a little clip light. So that's my recommendation. And then you'll have a better sense of what you want to spend money on.
Yeah.
As someone who's got 8 million sets of lights here. So
thank you guys all so much for helping me.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I put a couple lights in for your overhead light.
Thank you.
I have an overhead fan as well, but one of the problems with most of those is they're not dimmable or on a dimmer switch.
Yeah, I do have a dimmer, but it's the dimmer is in the very behind the black curtain right now, so it's not easy to get to if I've got the curtain.
Yeah, so either something like a Casa Bulb or a Philips Whiz, they both have apps that you can control.
Yeah, control it from
the temperature. You can
control
the brightness. They can go to any color that you want, and trying to rule it. Like the lamp above or light above me is at like 30%. If I turned it up to the daylight, like it typically is, it'd make me really look like I had a halo, but being able to do that control through an app is fantastic. It's like $10 for one of those bulbs.
I'm so close, so I just need to put the pieces together here. So thank you.
Yeah, and then the nice part with both of the sets I put in is you can get multiple lights. And so even like the lights that Tamara mentioned, you could get bulbs and stick those kind of bulbs in, so you could control, instead of it just being whatever wattage bulb it is, you could dim it down, you could change. change the color a little bit to give you a few options even in those desk lamps.
Super. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Like I'm holding myself back from diving into a whole bunch more, but because part of it is
Another
that
week.
oh yeah, that's right. But I just would a slightly different perspective on what Tamara was saying. I don't disagree at all. Is just another perspective is to say that I'm going to consider this for a little bit. I'm going to do the right thing now, and it might cost a little bit more. I'm going to get the right thing, and then it's done. Because there is a sense that you can focus on some of these things because it's easier for us to focus in on some of these tech things and how we connect this and do that. It's easier to do that than to think about the content and the experience that I want people to have, and thinking about how do I get better at delivery and how do I, and so
That's
we
where I
can
really focused
waste.
for the last year again, is remove all the tech,
Nice.
right? And then
Yeah,
it's about
it's great.
connecting with people in such a simple way that's vulnerable and it's more authentic and it's flawed.
Yeah,
But whenever
that's
I think
cool.
about, okay, once or twice a year, I really do want to have it set up differently for the 3-day experience. And then what is a little less formal for any of the kind of 3-day challenge, right, leading up to it to help, right, for
Yeah,
enrollment into the 3-day enrollment event.
so
So
good.
it's kind of like saying you get an introduction, but then you feel a shift when you come to the event that it is different from any experience they've had leading up to that.
Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah, it's all these things that I'm thinking about. I just want to ask one more question and then we move on. In fact, I've got to go take my kids to school, but it's I guess it's a potentially it's a personal question, but because Kat mentioned this at one point, I'm interested when I was talking about like this view that we do a lot of.
Yeah.
I wonder for some women whether it's also about not showing your chest, and that there's an element of that. Yes, okay, thumbs
Yeah.
up. And so I'm just interested in that as I start to help people more
Yes,
and more with
yes,
this.
yes. Especially if you're a big boob woman, it's very embarrassing. It's like, oh,
Right.
they look at my boobs, just like in real life. And no, I don't like it at all. I totally agree with you.
Mm,
That's why I noticed that I pick at my hands and my
find your
last
balance.
summit because I didn't want the
Right.
under here. No, totally agree. That's why. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the sun's
There's
setting
something
right
to
now
that.
and my face is completely changed because
Yeah.
I still have my blinds open.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
It just
Yeah.
slightly angled. But for me, when I walk full body, I still am having to get comfortable with it feeling like you only see kind of more of the face and the neck versus
Yeah.
then I step back and then you really do see full body. And so I do
Yeah.
have to dress, right, for wanting to
Y-
have that look or that angle, right? So if I'm a little bit more
Yeah.
casual or I'm really only dressed from kind of like more formal from the top up, right? It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
be prepared for what view, right, you're going to have on that given day. So
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's the double-edged sword of the fact that this is more intimate,
yes,
right? Because it's like it is more intimate. We are having a connection with one-to-one, potentially at the same time with many people, but it's still this one-to-one connection that you have with people,
yeah.
and therefore you are more exposed.
Yeah. I'm trying to get used to
Which takes
standing, right? Because
getting
it's a
used to that.
different energy when you
Yeah.
stand versus if you're seated.
Yes, it is.
But it's more comfortable if you're going, for more hours, unless you're really hosting the event. If you're just a participant, sometimes it is more fun to relax on the couch, right? Like, and so then you
Yep.
turn off the camera because you're like, nobody needs to see that angle. But I'm really
Yeah.
comfortable. So,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. That's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
thanks for asking the
And
question. I
my
mean, yeah,
favorite color is
we can
black,
just
right? So I have to dress
right.
differently, right, when hosting because it comes across, right, with a different energy. But you have to think about what colors are you going to be wearing. And then I gravitate
Yeah.
because when I would do a lot of traveling, right, black would show stains, right? So if I, had a suitcase that
Right.
would somehow get a stain, as I was getting on and off the airplane, if I had black, then nobody could tell, right? Or I would use a white shirt or I would use jewelry to like get the pop of color. And so over time, right, I just gravitated to more navy and black and then would bring in some browns, but I need to do brighter colors for the energy of hosting the events as well. And then I need to practice, right? Wearing those
That's
colors and seeing what it
fascinating.
looks like with the lighting and the backdrops and so forth. So,
Yeah. I love all this stuff. So it's fascinating what goes on. And so I love that just strip back and just be like, let's not overcomplicate it. Let's get to focus on the most important things. But I do think that there's lower brain, things that are going on with your attendees that you want to focus in on to be able to be more effective at what we do. So
A couple of years ago, Barry did a session that was specifically about dressing for the stage, and I need to revisit it. Now taking into account kind of these ideas behind the lighting and what color backdrops I'm really going to have for which parts of the day to set the tone. So, and I might even do, some wardrobe changes, just like you would have, different scenes in, Act 1 versus Act 2 or after intermissions.
That's cool.
Yeah, play with it.
That's cool.
You can't decide, right?
I'd like to see a fast change as well, like
fast
from
change,
one
quick
point
change,
to
right behind the curtain.
it's just this
Run
quick
over to
change,
the primary bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In fact, it's fun. It's a fun thing to look up on YouTube. Is Frozen the musical? And because it's been like all the kind of amateur theater ones, you know all about this, Tamara. But you see the fast change that happens with Elsa. And there's so many fails with that, where they go to pull the dress off that should just fall off, and they pull the person off the stage, or there's like it doesn't come off, or there are so many fails about that. But
I get to bring my theater days back into hosting events.
That's cool.
So, yeah,
that's very cool.
Laura,
all right, I'm going to go take. I'll take the kids to school, and so I'll leave it with you, Justin, and I'll say goodbye to everyone. Thank you. Nice to see you all. Bye-bye.
Sounds good. And then Laura, I'll reach out to you. I've got someone that is that's a very, very good friend of mine that does stylist and can help you figure out colors, the right colors to wear when, the backdrops, all the right stuff to make you pop off the screen, both on Zoom as well as in person. And one thing I learned, because and I was definitely a lover of black. My whole closet was black. I learned through.
I mean, from the consulting days, right? Yeah. I'd say, "Oh, I'm closing a $10 million deal," and so I would dress for the part, right? Or when you were working on Wall Street, everybody was going to wear their suits, right? You just knew that was how you were going to dress. So, but yeah, you don't need to be in a suit to to host an event necessarily. So.
Yeah, and the great part about it is knowing which colors, and everyone's got their own specific colors, and there's I could talk about it for ages of all the things I've learned. Is she taught me with various styles that's not black, because learned only 15% of the world's population should wear black, and the rest of us think we look good in it and actually don't look good in it. And I unfortunately am not one of those 15%. So that whole black closet has gone away, and it's helped. So I'll make that introduction for
Okay. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. And let's see, do we still have Jane Newman with us, or did she drop off? It looks like she dropped off. I know she had a hand up, but we'll get Jane next week when she shows up. Any other questions for today?
Justin, this will take two seconds. Hi, it's Abigail. Just silly. I want to see that clip. I know Grant had to disappear, but whatever he was talking about, that funny thing where people kept having mishaps with their clothes, whatever that clip was that he was just talking about, will you find out what that is and send it to us?
For you.
Yep. Camera will find one and send it to you.
Okay. I would love to see that so I don't do any of those mistakes.
Well, I don't think any of us that are going to be doing virtual events following the Berry and Blue model and the 3-day enrollment events are going to be doing on stage fast changes where you go from one outfit to the other by having somebody off stage kind of yank on some strings.
Hi, Justin. My name's Abigail, and I'll be doing that. I'm not kidding. I already have a rack of jackets, so I just changed the jacket. You know what I mean? Like the ruffles in the yellow for this mood and
changing, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of us do outfit changes, but not the camera's on you and then all of a sudden someone pulls some strings and you've got a totally different outfit on.
Like,
Oh God,
that
no.
is not.
No, is that what
Yeah.
Grant was talking about?
Yeah, well, that's what they do in some of the theater productions.
Oh no,
It's
no, no,
essentially,
no.
and
I will
sometimes it
go
doesn't
to
work.
Iraq. Yeah. No, I'll
Yeah.
go to Iraq, change the jacket. That's as much as I'll do. You're right.
Exactly.
You're right. Okay. Thank you.
You are welcome.
They had that also on, what is it, America's Greatest Talent or something, where you can get up and this lady just changes outfits right in front of you, pulls something and it's another outfit. But there's also, I don't know, it's Chinese or it's an Asian show where this woman just puts on clothes and takes it off and puts another one and takes it off, puts it on another one. And she's seeking Vietnamese or Laotian or whatever like that. And I guess she's telling, because she shows and turns around, and then she does stuff, and then she pulls it off, pulls another one back on. I'm amazed at some of those things that they're able to do that. But anyway,
No, Kat, I'd
Thank
like
you.
to learn about that for the future. But if I start just changing my jacket after a
think-
break, I'm happy.
think-
You know?
I think I'm gonna do that. I think I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Researching the color. I think that's a great idea. It changes
Velcro.
the energy. Who said that about changing the energy? I think Tamara said someone said it about changing the energy. I agree with them. Anyway, God bless y'all. I gotta go.
Yep. And I think on that note, we are done with our call for this week because we are out of questions. But we are here every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, answering your Avio questions and sometimes also diving into other tech and studio setups and other just random things. So we will